Hello, fellas. So, by the time you see this video, I will probably have had my third viewing of The Rise of Skywalker as it crossed the billion dollars worldwide, and I will have gotten ready for the next few videos as I got, so I'm just easing into the new rules I've been in and play for the past 2 weeks or so. So, allow me once again to say, now for something completely different. Given how the Nintendo Switch already seen several other ports of the previous consoles games, the Wii U, which is sort of a template for, or given how which include the likes of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well as Pokémon Tournament Deluxe, or more to come, I thought it would be nice to give my own little wish list about which titles I'd like to see imported from this system to the Switch. I mean, it's arguably Nintendo's most underrated console since the GameCube, who has noticed the awesome similarities given how has it gone. I mean, one rule I've set for myself is simply that the title must be published by Nintendo, which means no third-party publishers on this list, nor will be including titles already confirmed or have already been released, like I just mentioned with Mario Kart and Pokken. But, and some of my choices may be obvious, like others might surprise you, so let's get this started. Starting off this list, appropriately enough, with the recent announcement of Super Nintendo coming to Universal Studios, was with another little piece of Nintendo theme park fun. I mean, while it may not be the most elaborate game I'd want to bring over there, this one was definitely a nice little way to show off what the console could do, and naturally, well, not just such as array of mini games, I think it would be a good, nice way to bring over the Switch with a selection of new ones, as well as some enhancements for the new console. I mean, a sort of Nintendo Land DX, as you will, or Nintendo Land Gold. Sure, at times, Monita kind of got obnoxious to point out and have my finger on the minus button whenever she popped up, or muted her, but still, that way it used a lot of the characters, and the steps were already pretty nice and could lend itself well to who the Switch's control scheme with the Joy-Cons, or even displaying on the pure handheld Switch Mini, or Switch Lite, depending on which market you're playing it in. And on to the next one. While often a divisive Star Fox title, as is its companion Star Fox Guard, I personally didn't think this one was as bad as others said. I mean, the majority didn't feel like he was going to reinvent the wheel, but I felt there was a decent amount of effort being put in the game, and even though I admit sometimes motion controls can be used to, it helps you just kind of relax your arms. You don't have to force or anything, and while going back to the World of Star 64 did rank a few ones, I didn't mind it given how 64 was probably my favorite entry in the franchise. Nice, and I definitely think it could benefit from being on the Switch, given how they already do have their own version of Starlink, which had the Fox exclusive of R-Wing as well as the pilots. And even though that game wasn't a huge hit, that is proof that the characters could work on the system. I also hope that Star Fox 2 is already on the Super NES Online service, so... and I think it helps the motion controls of the Switch are more advanced than previous consoles, or you can even have a classic play control mode where you just use the analog stick and buttons to alleviate some of the concerns some people have, like how the Final Fantasy remake is going to have a classic mode accompanying the new control scheme, which I'm eager to try. But given how that one just got delayed, that's more for another day, because I have another one to bring up. And here is my obligatory spot for an overlooked gem on the previous system, since this title was essentially like the Beautiful Joe 3 I never got back in the day, a very loving homage to can do optimism, teamwork, as well as numerous classic game tokusatsu. I mean, definitely blending multiple genres as in a very creative fashion. I mean, try as I might, I really could never really get on board the hype train for Astral Chain, and I was still mostly baffled to why one even exists to begin with. And I mean, it just felt to look too dreary here in how it approaches material. And this one, I think, would actually work better on the Switch, even given how, again, and given how the control scheme is, it won't have to change that much, to be honest. I mean, and it definitely will be very fun to see another title that many people overlooked to gain a new audience, and that missed the first time, and people like me to enjoy it all over again. Don't be the last time this comes up on this list either, especially with what I've got planned and for the other parts of it. This choice is definitely going to be going against the grain for some people. I mean, a lot of people would have expected it if I wanted me to put something like Super Mario 3D World as a platformer. Other people are trying to include Xenoblade Chronicles X instead. However, in this case, I'm going to be suggesting another title which I personally enjoy, which I feel like could really fit its name for the Switch. I mean, given how other titles such as Captain Treasure Tracker and Yoshi's Crafted World, sequels to Yoshi's Woolly World have benefited from the Switch's tech. I mean, as well as the fact that not that Captain Toad also got a 3DS version even. And so I think it would definitely be nice to see this title or how given how Kirby has undergone many different transformations one over the years, like how some cases he's made of yarn, this one has him made of claymation, and which, unlike Clay Fighter, however, which I barely remember, this actually does play into the story as well as makes some pretty creative setups. I mean, and I'm thinking that this kind of style will be well suited to the Switch. I mean, which has proved that even though with increasingly showy hey, graphics on the competitors, sometimes raw power is not always necessary to give distinct looking visuals. I mean, sometimes some only is like a Star Warrior made out of clay. Hey, in this world, and of course, much like any Kirby game, has a ideal blend of challenging platforming, cute visuals, and often nightmarish later bosses. As if you want to do crystal hearts, that'd be alright too, especially for a potential N64 online service as you might be working on. But I digress. I mean, now these are probably some of the bigger ones I've got on here. I mean, much like how Breath of the Wild is like a transitional title between the two consoles, kind of like how the original Twilight Princess is like a transitional one between the GameCube and the original Wii, this was definitely a one I had to include for a tie where both these games have some excellent entries in the Zelda canon for different reasons. I mean, and while speculation continues about how they want to re-version other titles in the franchise, as well as developing entirely new ones like a sequel to Breath of the Wild that's coming out soon, I think this would also be a great opportunity to once again and give people all a new way to play some of the best titles in the series. I mean, like the Wind Waker works with very much. I actually was one of the few people that was actually supporting in the cel shaded art style at the time everyone else was decrying it as almost going as far as would claim would kill the franchise. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Instead, it became one of the game's most distinctive parts, and ended up becoming used in many subsequent titles, as well as appearing to Smash Brothers from Brawl onward. Heard. And Twilight Princess has works a different way, a very dark, kind of even Wild West infused take on the series. I actually don't even mind the opening mission, and that takes up the first hour or so of gameplay, which actually pretty effective way like drawing you into the world they're building while trying to hand you submission, and also is one of the rare attempts at going in towards a darker route for the series. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's full of dark moments, even in one I just mentioned, but this one makes me lean into that at a time where a lot of franchises are trying to do that with decidedly mixed results in some cases, but this is one of the cases where it absolutely works. Given how the medieval fantasy aspect that really lends itself to a lot of different ways you can play with it. I mean, and obviously the controls and graphics translate well towards the Switches. It was be able to take it with you, on a trip or on a commute. And I also would not mind if they, reissued, in the Twilight Princess case, the version that came with the Wolf Link and Midna amiibo, which is the last remnant of the Toys of Life trend, and the specific case of that one, it's pretty costly. I mean, like, hey Ninty, you want to be a friend? I definitely would appreciate that if they decide to go that route. How to mean, and when these games are seen as both so great, they only make the second spot on my list, and it definitely says something. However, my number one choice will definitely be one I think a lot of people can agree helped not only save the Wii U from total obscurity, but also provide another game that helped get the Switch another boost as well. Of course, even when I first heard discussions and about what kind of titles people would like to see a port or remaster from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, I knew it was going to be this one. And while the second game definitely is a great sequel in its own right, there's also still talks surrounding a third game in development. And even though nothing has been officially announced just yet, I really think it will be a great way for people who did not play the first game to experience it, and people like me who loved it to enjoy it all over again. And originally intended as a Mario spin-off, they decided to retool the game into a whole new franchise, and results have spoken for themselves. Oh, man. I mean, the game sold like crazy. It sold at least 4 million copies, which is a sizable chunk of the previous console's final install base. And with that in mind, allowed developers to go even further for the sequel, introducing more features, weapons, modes, gear, all sorts of it. And of course, I'm not gonna get them right now. I still hold on to my amiibo. I'm looking to more. So it would definitely be a one title I can think of that would definitely lend itself most effectively towards just getting remastered on the Switch. I mean, and also hopes that it's not only sure it's more family friendly, it's also one that had the audacity to bring the fun back to the genre after years of grimdark entries in the series, like how Now, I mean, we can't all have the next generation of gamers going to be nihilists. I mean, as without more idealistic things to believe in, and how are they going to be encouraged to fight for better tomorrow? I mean, especially even though beneath that veneer, where it's not right stated but heavily implied that great cataclysm caused squids and the second game octopi to replace humans as dominant species on Earth. They did take on the traits of humans. Humans, maybe if something ever happens, it could be a potential artifact for future civilization to discover. I mean, but maybe I'm just getting us geeking out the idea here of these and other titles being potentially ported to the Switch. I just mean, since it's definitely there are many other titles, but I'm gonna try and reserve things until after the next Smash reveal on Thursday morning. And so feel free to tell me in the comments what you might like to see ported to who who the Switch from the Wii U, and I will see you all later.